Thanks to the folks who led the way. Thanks to the folks, let us thank them every day.
Welcome to the Fresh Toones Show. My name is Dave Paltz, and today's show is an inspirational live show, and it's dedicated to Viktor Frankl. My first introduction to Viktor Frankl was way back in the early 1970s in college. I took a number of psychology courses, and some of his ideas about therapy for folks that are struggling with mental issues was called logotherapy. And logo in Greek means meaning. And his theory was that our search for life's meaning is our central human motivation. Before I get into a lot of Viktor Frankl's life story, I'm going to share this song of mine called Find the Source. Find the source of your well-being. Let it lead the way to find some peace. Trust yourself, release your love. Lift the lid and look inside your heart. Feel the glow within you. Be the one you want to be. Be the love you always hope for. Step inside the door. Surround yourself, bathe in her light. Feel the warmth and smile with delight. Raise your arms, raise your hand. Volunteer your love throughout this land. Feel the glow within you. Be the one you want to be. Be the love you always hope for. Step inside the door. When you find the source, keep it close. Shine the light and do what's right. Do what you can and work and play. Be all that you can be, then rest in peace. Find the source and live in peace. Find the source and be released. Find the source and be fulfilled. Find the source and rest in peace. Well, now I'll share a little bit of what I know about Viktor Frankl. He was an Austrian psychiatrist, philosopher, and a Holocaust survivor, and he founded a new school of psychotherapy called logotherapy. And that therapy was one that describes our search for our life's meaning as the central human motivational force. He published 39 books, and his autobiography, Man's Search for Meaning, is based on his experience in various Nazi concentration camps. He was born in the early 20th century to a Jewish family in Vienna. His interest in psychology and the role of meaning developed when he was just a junior in high school. As a teenager, he began corresponding with Sigmund Freud when Freud asked him for permission to publish one of his papers. After graduation from high school in 1923, he studied medicine at the University of Vienna. It wasn't too long before he began questioning the Freudian approach to psychoanalysis and came to believe that meaning was the central motivational force in human beings. From 1926 on, he began refining his theory, which he termed logotherapy. In connection to Viktor Frankl's theory that our search for life's meaning is our most important motivational force, I'm going to share this song called Find Your Hope. Find your hope and live your love and be the one you want to be. Don't get lost within the fog of what they say you need to be. You know what makes you smile these days, so give that smile away. Ooh. It lifts our hearts to see the joy our love can bring about. Let us live with all our might, give back what we can give. Then our hope will knock upon our door, say, this gift is here for you. You thought you'd never see the day when things would seem so clear. The bumpy road of life is long, but now your hope leads the way. Well, continuing with Viktor Frankl's story, after earning his MD in 1930, he went to work at the Steinhoff Psychiatric Hospital, and there he was responsible for the treatment of suicidal women. In 1937, he began a private practice, but the Nazi annexation of Austria in 1938 limited his opportunity to treat patients. In 1940, he joined the Rothschild Hospital, the only hospital in Vienna still admitting Jews. And prior to his deportation to the concentration camps, he helped numerous patients avoid the Nazi euthanasia program. So over that decade of working with a lot of folks that were really struggling with things, not only because of the Nazis, but because of depression, he continued to develop his thoughts on logotherapy. For 13 years, I worked in a psychiatric hospital, and working with folks that were fighting depression, I wrote this song called Net of Sadness. In a net strung with sadness, here do I sit. The waves cannot save me, the braids still resist. No breath can I take, no solutions yet seen. The cold all around, oh how mean it all seems. But I still dimly see the light. I hear the foghorn in the night. For ships who've lost their way, to direct them through to a better day. I've clawed back in the past, but this time seems more. The whirlpool's bigger than ever before. Pick up my pen to fend back the villain, to release my balloon to float towards the heavens. And I still dimly see the light. I hear the foghorn in the night. For ships who've lost their way, to direct them back through a better day. From high up above, it's vaguely revealed that love still exists. If we persist, we can heal. And I can see the light. I heard the foghorn in the night. For a ship who'd lost his way directed me to a better day. Directed me to a better day. When he arrived at one of the concentration camps, he was stripped of all his belongings, and the manuscript that he had hidden in the lining of his coat was taken. For the next 3 years in the camp, he'd find any kind of little scrap of paper to try and write down some of the notes that he could remember from his book about logotherapy. In the process, he came to realize that despite the cruelty visited on the prisoners by the guards, the beatings, the torture, and constant threat of death, there was one part of their lives that remained free: their own minds. The hopes, imagination, and dreams of prisoners were up to them, despite their awful circumstances. This inner ability was a real human freedom. People are prepared to starve, he saw, if starvation has a purpose of meaning. Fate is what happened to us beyond our control, but we each are responsible for how we relate to those events. He held these insights on the sense of meaning even before he underwent the horrors of the camp life, though his years as a prisoner gave him even deeper conviction. His desire to one day publish his views, along with his yearning to see his loved ones once again, gave him a personal purpose that helped him keep afloat. As it was, just 9 months after his marriage, his family was sent to the concentration camp. His father died of starvation, and his mother and brother were murdered in the gas chambers at Auschwitz. His young wife would later die of typhus. I'm going to share with you a song now that I wrote called Auschwitz Didn't Fall from the Sky. Auschwitz didn't fall from the sky. It came from inside. Evil climbs inch by inch. The shadows march step by step, with gardens overgrowing from lies that were told. If love is strangled out, what's it all about? Those who take the king's invites to kill the ones that they call them will find themselves buried beneath the walls of hate that cannot stand. The battle continues. It's simply up to us to raise our voices, to share our love. Join in and sing. Today's our day. Hallelujah, together we can find a better way. We can find a better way. We can find a better way. You're listening to The Fresh Toones Show, and today's show is an inspirational live show dedicated to Viktor Frankl. After the war and he was released from the Nazi concentration camp, he wrote his book called Man's Search for Meaning, and from his little notes that he was able to keep during his time in this camp, he was able to write in about 9 days. And he was later published in 1959, and it became an international bestseller. In 1991, that book was named one of the most influential books in America. In that book he wrote, quote, "There is much wisdom in the words of Nietzsche. He who has a why to live for can bear almost anyhow." He took this maxim as an explanation for the will to survive that he noted in some of his fellow prisoners. Those who found a larger meaning and purpose in their lives, who had a dream of what they could contribute, were, in his view, more likely to survive than those who gave up. Unfortunately, so many didn't have the opportunity to even struggle within the concentration camps because they were almost gassed immediately in the gas chambers. To go along with Viktor Frankl's idea that if we can find the why, we can find a how to live through a lot of things, this song of mine is simply called You Can Do It.
You can do it. You can make it through it, even though you might wonder why. There is something inside you, and it's walking beside you, and it is larger than yourself, and it's whispering your name, and it's wiping your eyes, and it's touching your soul, set you free. You are unique to this world. You need to let your flag be unfurled, to be who you are, and that is all. The sun has sprouted your seed, the warmth has lifted your head. Now you know what you know, and that is all. And it's whispering your name, and it's wiping your eyes, and it's touching your soul to set you free. You can do it. You can make it through it, even though you might wonder why. There is something inside you, and it's walking beside you, and it is larger than yourself, and it's whispering your name, and it's wiping your eyes, your soul, set you free.
In his book, Man's Search for Meaning, he devoted about approximately half of it to the contents to describing Auschwitz and the psychology of the prisoners. He went on later to develop his logotherapy, which is based on the desire to find a meaning in life and free will. He went on to, in his book, to say, "Freedom, however, is not the last word. Freedom is only part of the story and half of the truth. Freedom is but the negative aspect of the whole phenomena, whose positive aspect is responsibilityness. In fact, freedom is in danger of degenerating into more arbitrariness unless it is lived in terms of responsibilityness." This is a song of mine called Freedom, Oh Freedom.
Free to say our prayers, we're free to sing our songs, we're free to do almost anything on this road they're walking down. We're building our lives as we're knocking down the walls. Freedom is singing for those who choose to sing along. Freedom's the wheel that keeps us rolling on. Freedom's the flag that we fought for oh so long. Freedom's what gives us choice, and it's only up to us whether we live responsibly or live a life that isn't us. Freedom, freedom, help me find a way to make the choices in the life I want to lead. Though I might stumble, oh, I might stumble twice, I'll keep singing with you until the silent night. Freedom's the wheel that keeps us rolling on. Freedom's the flag that we fought for oh so long. Freedom's what gives us choice, and it's only up to us whether we live responsibly or live a life that isn't us. Freedom, oh freedom, help me find a way to make the choices in the life I want to lead. Though I might stumble, oh I might stumble twice, I'll keep singing with you until the silent night.
Well, Viktor Frankl worked with his patients right up until he retired in 1970. He continued to be an avid mountain climber right up into his 80s. Perhaps this was reflective of the trials in his life that he had already had to overcome. He died in 1997, but hopefully he instills all of us to finding our own personal meaning for our lives. Hopefully no one will ever have to experience the pain and suffering that he and so many others had to experience in the concentration camps. We can be thankful that he put all those little scraps of papers together from his book that had been destroyed by the Nazis. His book has much to teach us. I hope you enjoyed the show today. I'm going to wrap up today's show with a song of mine called The Road to the Top Isn't Paved.
There's only one path to the top of the mountain. Only one way to get you there. Though many may stop right by you, the path you're looking for is you. Keep your eyes wide open along the way. Don't let those four-lane highways lead you astray. The work you do today will surely pay. 'Cause the road to the top isn't paved. The road to the top isn't paved. Someone should give you the answer. Look at it as closely as you can. They say don't ask those questions. Kick up your heels and move along. Keep your eyes wide open along the way. Don't let the newest highs lead you astray. The pretty colors might take you away, but the road to the top isn't paved. No, the road to the top isn't paved. There are many signs around us. If we focus, we will see. But there are so many distractions. The fog is thick, the air is thin. Keep your eyes wide open along the way. Remember what you're doing every day. Following the pathway that you've made. 'Cause the road to the top isn't paved. No, the road to the top isn't paved.
Have a great week. Be creative. So long now. Let us sing now. Lift us up to higher ground. Let us see and hear the sounds. A rising sun and the birds that sing. Release the song, let your love take wing.